Rachel Zegler recently made headlines after reportedly being let go by Disney, with many pointing to her controversial online behavior as a contributing factor. One notable incident involved her comments about Jeremy Renner during his custody battle with his ex-wife. Despite Renner denying the accusations and the claims ultimately being dismissed in court as unfounded, Zegler publicly insulted him, referring to him with inflammatory labels such as racist, sexist, transphobic garbage monster. She also called on Disney to recast his role as Hawkeye with either a trans woman of color or herself, a move widely criticized as disrespectful and opportunistic. Her tweets, which often reflected a tendency to react without waiting for legal outcomes, drew backlash for their aggressive tone. Critics argued that Zegler's immediate belief in the accusations against Renner, solely based on his ex-wife's statements, exemplified a lack of fairness and nuance. Despite her efforts, Renner retained his role after winning the case, but Zegler's attempt to influence Disney's decision-making highlighted her divisive approach to public discourse. More recently, Zegler once again made waves by lobbying Disney for a role in an upcoming Star Wars project. In a tweet on X, formerly Twitter, she made a case for her casting, but her reasoning was widely mocked as lacking substance. This latest plea added to a pattern of controversial statements and public appeals, further fueling debates about her approach to her career and interactions with major studios. A fan of the comics? I would like to throw my head in the ring to voice Shara Bay, mother of Poe Dameron, because her ship was in our zone. My initials for Green Squadron. Rachel Zegler's reasoning for why Disney should cast her in a specific Star Wars role has sparked widespread criticism. Her argument? She believes she should play the character because Poe Dameron's mother had a ship with the initials RZ-1, which coincidentally match her own initials. This rationale has been widely mocked as one of the most superficial justifications for being cast in a role, especially considering the vast pool of talented actresses available who could bring depth and skill to the character. Zegler's unpopularity in Hollywood has been exacerbated by her controversial statements, particularly during the promotion of Disney's live-action Snow White. Rather than generating excitement for the film, Zegler alienated fans by openly criticizing the original animated classic. She dismissed the beloved 1937 film as outdated and proudly emphasized how the remake would deviate significantly from the original story. These remarks not only angered fans of the classic fairy tale, but also turned off the general audience, effectively undermining the movie's promotional efforts. Given her recent controversies and public missteps, many question why Disney would choose to cast someone whose actions and statements have consistently created backlash and damaged public perception of their projects.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Rachel Zegler's comments about the classic Snow White movie only fueled controversy and alienated fans. She referred to the beloved 1937 film as problematic and outdated, particularly criticizing the romance between Snow White and the prince, even calling the prince a weird creep. Zegler proudly stated that the live-action adaptation would thankfully not feature romance, focusing instead on portraying a strong and independent Snow White who doesn't need a man and is determined to become a ruling queen. This perspective sparked outrage among fans of the fairy tale, who felt that the adaptation disrespected and ruined the original story. The backlash intensified as fans questioned why Disney would cast someone in the iconic role who openly criticized the source material. Many also noted that Zegler didn't resemble Snow White in terms of appearance, character, or behavior. Snow White, traditionally known for her kindness and humility, stood in stark contrast to Zegler's public persona, which many perceived as self-assured and dismissive. The decision to cast Zegler in the role was widely seen as a disconnect from the spirit of the original character and an insult to the fans who cherished the classic story.
Say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Rachel Zegler was arguably the wrong choice for the role of Snow White from the start, but Disney took a chance on her. Unfortunately, instead of gracefully handling the criticism from concerned fans, Zegler responded by insulting them, labeling them as toxic, and dismissing their concerns. Despite receiving millions for the role and agreeing to her contract before filming began, Zegler publicly demanded more money, backstabbing the studio that hired her. This behavior not only angered fans, but also caused tension with fellow actors and Disney itself. In an effort to salvage the situation, Disney has been working to reduce Zegler's role in the film, removing her scenes to minimize the damage. However, many believe it's too little, too late. Zegler's actions have alienated the very audience the film was meant to appeal to, and it's unlikely that the movie can recover. In the process, Zegler has also tarnished her own career, seemingly sabotaging her own prospects for no apparent reason. What are your thoughts on her behavior? From her insulting tweets about Jeremy Renner to her divisive opinions on Snow White and her overall conduct, it's clear she's become a polarizing figure. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content and updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.